I was a bit deceived because I felt like I was helping stigmatizing Africa once more, you know, with this Africa is dirty and there's garbage everywhere and all that. So I said, okay, so my only way to fight that is to go global. So I said, instead of concentrate on African culture, I'm going to go all over, try to get interest into all cultures around the world, and then from there I could create a global prophecy that would create bridges between continents and different cultures. I'm Fabrice Monteiro. I'm of Beninese and Belgian background, and I work essentially with photography and installation. I was born in Belgium. I grew up in Benin, and now I'm living in Senegal. I studied industrial engineering, and then I moved on to being a model. And so when I came to the other side of the camera, naturally I was shooting fashion, but very rapidly I felt the necessity of working on subjects that would feel more concerned about. Naturally, the first subject that I treated was about slavery, because I'm carrying a Portuguese name, which is an heritage from the slavery time, because my ancestor was brought into slavery by the Portuguese to Brazil, and he came back with the name of Monteiro, of his master. And in Benin, there's a lot of them in Benin. You would have Monteiro, da Silva, de Medeiros, and we are called the Agudas, those who returned. And so the first work that I did, I made some research on the shackles that the slaves were put on the slaves to avoid them from escaping from the fields. And once I had all the informations about it, I put out blueprints of the 5 different pieces, had them done in Benin, and then I did kind of like a studio in the streets to put these pieces on to create portraits with these pieces. That was my very first work. This is not about black against white or white against black, but just saying that this is what a human being can do to another human being in the name of nothing else but profit, and all the rest has been built up to justify the fact that you can use other human being like you use animals in the fields. Mm-hmm. Actually, when I came to Senegal in 2011, I was impressed by the ecological situation there. There was plastic literally everywhere, and I came up with this question like, okay, this new generation, they don't know how it used to be. They've been born, they've been raised in a dirty environment, and how can I maybe instillate a little sense of environmental consciousness into them? So I came up with this idea that if I could combine environmental facts and animism, which is because the people still believe a lot into spirits, maybe I could create something that would attract the attention of the new generation, and eventually they could bring that back home to the parents and family. So I started to create images. Each image would concern a specific issue. How did I pick the first themes in Senegal? Is that at that time I met the Minister of Environment in Senegal, and he gave me a list of of issues that they had in Senegal, and out of all these issues, I picked 9 that I figured that I could put into image, because it was very important to me to create images that were strong enough that they wouldn't need any explanation, and also they would be able to talk to anyone, not only the people in museum like here, but also the everyday people and the people who don't read. It was something that was very important to me. So I created those 9 images in Senegal. And then when I start to have a little, let's say, a little recognition from the different journalism and all that, I realized that I was a bit deceived because I felt like I was helping stigmatizing Africa once more, you know, with this Africa is dirty and there's garbage everywhere and all that. So I said, okay, so my only way to fight that is to go global. So I said, instead of concentrate on African culture, I'm going to go all over, try to get interest into all cultures around the world, and then from there I could create a global prophecy that would create bridges between continents and different cultures. I've been working on the different prophecies. I've been working with different designers, but the very first one, and I would say the main one, is Doulsy, because we started that project together. So it would help me create the costume and put the thing together because I don't have the knowledge to make that. So for example, here the idea was to, if you see, this is about charcoal consumption. So what I did is that I use, the dress is made of this technical that they use to make charcoal. So they make this pile of wood with a chimney in the middle, and the wood become you burn it and the wood become coal. So that piece comes from a solar oven, and that spirit is, I put these two things in opposition, and that spirit would come to say, why are you cutting down all the trees to make charcoals when you have all this energy from the sun that could help you cook things and do so much things. So every single costume is a construction of different elements that I would take either from cultures that dig into culture or into habits or specific ways of living from each place. The original idea is to create a booklet with a little tale that would be distributed into schools. It would be amazing if we started something, because when it comes to environment, I think either you would have beautiful images of landscapes saying we need to preserve that, or you would have images of total ecological disaster saying, oh look, this is what happened. But when this idea of using all that and introducing and mixing it with the local culture, to me was something that was quite new, and I like this idea of having something that is rooted in Africa and goes all over, because usually the movement is always from north to south, and here creating something that has its cradle on the continent and take it to the rest of the world was something that was important to me. So that's how now I'm working on making different prophecies all over the planet.